Tara. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing a yoga practice, which I'm going to be calling a deep yoga stretch. So of course I'll offer modifications through this practice, but in our poses, I am going to also offer you ways to take the poses deeper, to really just get a nice stretch through the body. But as always, honor your body and where it's at today. You could always take the modifications. I also have a new microphone, which I'm super excited about, so hopefully my audio is better. This is only the second time I'm using it. I did use it to film my Patreon content this month, so I'm still learning on ways to use this so it sounds best, so hopefully it's coming through nicely, but I am excited about it. And with all that said, we're gonna start our practice kneeling at the back of our mats to center in. So meet me there and we'll get started. Okay, so kneeling at the back of your mat, of course you could sit in easy pose as well if that's more comfortable for you. Just place your hands on your thighs, palms facing up, close your eyes, tune into your breath, center in. And just while we're sitting here, remember to honor your body where it's at today. While it's great to challenge ourselves in our yoga poses in a physical way, it's also important to remember to honor what's best for you. So maybe you are ready to take on a new challenge, to try a new position, to see if you can go deeper into a pose, or maybe you're just like, that's really not what's best for me and I'm better off staying with the first variation or modifying. And that's perfectly okay. And honoring your body is really just being a more advanced yoga practitioner when you can actually just say, okay, I'm going to take what's best for me, even though it's not the most challenging version of the pose. So please remember that. Not that we're doing anything that insane today, but it's an important reminder. So just offering gratitude for your body. And then you could blink your eyes open and go ahead and walk yourself out so you're on all fours, so on your hands and knees. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Belly drops down, look up for cow, just warming up through the spine. Engaging the core as you move through flat back, or maybe rounding into cat, allowing the head to drop down. And then coming back through cow, belly relaxes as you open through the chest. Breath is steady. And just finding that movement through the spine. Taking these gentle movements to warm up. You can move at your own pace here. Go ahead and take one more round. Pausing in cow pose, breathe. And then come back through neutral spine. Step the hands one little step forward, toes tuck. Lift the knees, send yourself back to downward dog, Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Breathe here. Maybe have a nice deep bend in your knees. Relaxing through the glutes. Sit bones spread apart. One more breath. And then we're just going to warm up with some lunges here. So bring the left foot to the center line, step the right foot up between the hands, lift up into high lunge. Take one breath here. And then plant the hands back down, step back, downward dog. And then left foot steps forward, lifting up high lunge on the left. One breath. Hands plant down, step back, downward dog. Right foot steps forward, lift up, high lunge, crescent lunge, 2 breaths. Pressing through the back heel. Hands plant down, step back, down dog. Last one, left foot steps forward, lift up. 2 breaths. Hands plant down. Step back, downward dog. 1 more breath in downward dog. And then drop down to the knees. And then from here, moving to Anahata Asana. Take a step forward with the hands. Send the hips up to the sky. Melt the heart down toward the ground. Forehead can rest on the ground. And just thinking about letting the center of the chest melt down, softening through the shoulders, and breathing here. Melting through the upper back. 3 more breaths. Start to make your way back up, bringing the hands back under the shoulders. Left arm reaches up as you twist to the left. And then thread the left arm under the right for thread the needle. Rest the left side of the head on the ground and breathe here. You could either keep the right hand in front of the face or extend the arm out in front for a little extra stretch through the right shoulder. Keep the breath steady. 1 more breath here. Right hand comes back in if you had it out. Press into the right palm as you unwind and lift the left arm back up to the sky. Plant the left hand down. Right arm reaches up, twisting to the right. And then thread right arm under left for thread the needle on the other side. Right side of the head rests down and breathe. Option to extend the left arm out in front. So it's like you're pulling through the left fingertips as you pull the hips back. Just finding this opening in all these different parts of the body. Breathing into whatever sensations you feel. 3 more breaths. If left hand is forward, bring it back. Press into left palm. Reach right arm up as you twist to the right. Plant both hands down and then toes together, knees wide. Sit back into a wide leg child's pose. 1 hand on top of the other though, and rest the forehead on the hands. Getting this little extra heart opening here as you let the heart melt down. And you just neutralize through the spine. 2 more breaths. And start to walk yourself back so you're sitting and kneeling, and maybe turn so you're facing the side of the mat for gate pose. So moving into gate pose, if you would like a block under the hand is a great way to modify this, so that's an option. Go ahead and come up through high kneeling. Extend the right leg out. You're on the left knee. Arms reach up. Right hand drapes down toward the right leg, side bend to the right, 1 breath. And then windmill over, option to have a block down, so you could either place the left hand on the ground or on a block. Right arm drapes overhead, ground down through the right foot, and extend through the right fingertips. Drive your hips forward, feeling this opening along the right side body. Keep a slight bend in the elbow of the hand that's on the ground. And then option for a little hip opener here, so feel free to stay in gate pose or hold the inner right knee, finding this little hip opener, pulling that right hip back. 1 breath. If the leg's up, plant it down. Extend the arm back overhead. 1 more breath in gate pose. And then coming back down into a low kneeling. And we'll switch sides. Come back up to high kneeling. Left foot extends out. Reach the arms up tall. Left arm down to left leg, side bend to the left. One breath. Windmill over. So the right hand either goes to the ground or to a block. Left arm overhead, ground down through left foot, extend through left fingertips, draw the hips forward. So a lot of times they like to stick back. So really pushing the hips forward. And you feel this really beautiful stretch along your left side body. Keep a slight bend in the elbow of the hand that's on the ground. And then option for that hip opener if you'd like, holding the inner left knee, opening through the hip, so pulling the knee back, the knee is bent. One breath. Plant the left foot back down, back through gate pose, one more breath. And then lower yourself back down through kneeling. Come back to face the front of the mat. Coming back to all fours and then making your way back into your downward dog. 2 breaths in down dog, really letting the heels start to sink down, maybe straightening through the knees. Bring the left foot to the center line, right leg reaches up, and then step the right leg through, drop the back knee, untuck the back toes, lift up, low lunge, 2 breaths here. And then plant the hands back down, tuck under back toes, extend your back knee, pivot, so you're facing the side of the mat and you're bending into the right knee into skandasana. So you can be up tall and not go all the way down. So you're just bending the right knee, left leg is straight, or you squat all the way down, okay? Your choice. Breathe here. If you're all the way down, the left toes point up. An option to open the arms. So you can either just place the hands in front or right hand extends out to the right, left arm up, taking a little twist in skandasana. One more breath here. If the hands are up, bring them back down. Good. Start to pivot back around through runner's lunge and step back into downward dog. And breathe. And then switching sides, right leg comes to the center line, left leg reaches up. And then step the foot between the hands, drop back knee down, untuck back toes, lift up Anjaneyasana. 2 breaths. Plant the hands down, tuck under back toes, lift back knee, walk yourself around so you're facing the side of your mat. And you could stay in this high variation. So you have the less of a bend in the left knee, the right foot's grounded down, or squat all the way down into skandasana. Right toes up, trying to keep length in the spine. Hands are down in front of you, or for that open twist variation, left arm comes a little further out to the left, right arm reaches up. 2 breaths. Honor your body and where it's at today. If the arm's up, bring it back down. Everyone pivot back around through runner's lunge and step back into downward dog. Take any movements you need in down dog. Okay, so options here. So we're moving to malasana yogi squat. So you can either walk your feet up and step them nice and wide to the outside edges of your hands, or if you want to take a hop, you could bring the feet together, take a nice deep bend into the knees, and you're going to hop up, feet land to the outside of your hands, okay? your choice. It doesn't really matter how you get there. Once you're there, squatting down into malasana. If the heels are lifted, that's fine. If you want to block under your pelvis, that's fine. Hands in prayer, press into the hands. And breathe, finding length from the tailbone up to the crown. And options here. So you could stay in regular malasana. You could take an open arm variation, kind of like we just did in skandasana. So the right arm would extend slightly out to the right, left arm up. Twisting here. Breathe. The last option is to take a bind if you have the mobility. So your right arm would reach around your right leg, left arm behind, clasping the hands behind you, twisting here. Remember, do what feels good for you. These are just options for you. It doesn't mean you have to take what I'm doing. One more breath. If you have the bind, unravel. Everyone come back to prayer hands. And switching sides, left arm first extends out if you're going to take the twist, and the right arm reaches up. Breathe. Either stay here or for the bind, you're going to reach the left arm around the left leg, right arm goes behind you, clasping the hands and twisting to the right. 2 breaths. If you have the bind, unravel, open the arms back up. Everyone come back through regular malasana. Again, one more breath with the hands in prayer. And then from here, you can literally just sit the hips down, coming back to sitting in easy pose. Maybe just take a breath here, letting go. So we're gonna do a hip opener here. So just because we're stretching, it doesn't mean this practice is easy. So it's still physically challenging, right? Get your heart rate up a little bit. All right, so we got a couple options. So, option to just take double pigeon if you want. Pulling the right leg in, the left leg can go in front, the left leg can go on top also, okay? So that's one option. If you want to take a leg rock here, you can. So again, you have 2 options. So you're either gonna hold the left ankle, the left outer ankle with the right hand. You hold the left knee with the left hand, and you can just lift up and rock here, but make sure you're keeping the spine up nice and tall and straight, okay? If you have to slump to do this, then stay with one of the other variations. You could also hook the foot into your elbow. So my left foot's in my right elbow, my left arm's gonna wrap around, and then you can rock here. Again, keeping the spine nice and straight. And you're just gently rocking the leg, finding little movements, giving some love to this left hip joint. Good. If the leg's up, relax it down, and we'll switch sides. So we'll redo, so you can take any option you want. So left foot tucks in, right leg can place in front, right leg can place on top, okay? So those are 2 variations if you don't want to grab the leg, and you just breathe into the hips there. Other option is to hold the right outer ankle, hold the knee, and just rock here. Last option is to hook the foot into the elbow. So right foot hooks into left elbow, right arm hooks around, and then you rock here. And you might find that one side's tighter than the other. That's normal. So for me, this leg, I can't hug it in as much as my left. So honestly, staying with the foothold is probably better for me. And just rocking through the leg, staying connected with breath. And then release the right leg down. Come back so you're on all fours. Sit back into a wide leg child's pose just for a breath. And then come forward either on the forearms and dropping the hips down into Sphinx. Or you can also come forward on the hands and drop the hips down into Cobra. Breathe. Let go through the lower spine. And then press yourself back again to wide-legged child's pose. Toes together, knees wide, forehead rests down. And then walk yourself up, cross your feet behind you, and then make your way to lay down onto your back. One more stretch here. So we're gonna take Happy Baby. There's a lot of options, okay? Option 1, hold on to the inner ankles, knees go out to the sides. This is actually my favorite variation of Happy Baby, even though it's the less physically advanced variation. I don't know, I just really love this pose. I feel like it feels the best for me. So maybe you want to stay here. Option 2 is to hold the outer edges of the feet and bring the feet up so that the soles of the feet are pointing toward the sky. And breathe. Make sure you're keeping the spine on the ground so the low back sacrum's on the ground here. If you're really having to round to get into this pose, maybe stay with the first variation. And then your last option is to hook onto the toes. So your index and middle finger hook around the big toe, thumb is on your toenail. You could also stay here in Happy Baby like this as well, just trying out this other hand variation. Or you could start to straighten the legs. Maybe you straighten one leg and then the other. Maybe you straighten both legs. Again, do what feels good for you. It's about honoring your body. Yes, challenging it, but in a way that feels good and nourishing to you. 3 more breaths in whatever variation you're in. And slowly come out of your Happy Baby, planting both feet on the ground. Extend the arms overhead, feet are hip width apart. Lift up into a bridge, extending through the fingertips. And then lower yourself back down. Relax the hands back down at your sides. Extend the legs, relaxing into Shavasana. Just letting everything go. Tuck the shoulders under and then relax back down. Eyes are closed. And just taking this moment to allow the physical yoga practice we just did to integrate into the rest of our being, to feel into any shifts that happened in the physical body, in the mind, in our emotions, through our spiritual self. Taking this moment for pause to just really feel the nourishing effects of our practice. To remind ourselves that moments of stillness are just as important, if not more important, than moments of movement sometimes. And just letting go. Letting go of any tension through any muscles. Letting gravity help you in relaxing further as you rest here on the earth for a few more breaths in Shavasana. You could stay here longer if you'd like. If you're ready to move away from the practice, start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Draw the legs together, arms reach overhead, extending from fingertips down to your toes. And then bend your knees, planting your feet on the floor, rolling to one side, keeping your bottom arm straight out to rest your head on the arm. And then slowly walking yourself back up to sit in easy pose. Hands in prayer at the center of your heart. Feeling gratitude to yourself for showing up to practice. Offering gratitude to your body for allowing you to be able to find movement. We'll seal our practice here with a breath together. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, let it go. Return to your comfortable breath. Release the hands down and slowly blink your eyes back open. Namaste. Thank you guys so much for practicing with me today. I hope you enjoyed this flow. If you're interested in more content from me, in longer yoga flows, in deepening your yoga practice spiritually, then please check out my Patreon. I'll put a link to it in the description down below. But otherwise, that's all for me for today. If you liked this practice, please give it a thumbs up. That really does help me. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.